America, huh? What's up, America? What are you doing? I must speak to you if you don't mind. Let's see, 17, 18 seconds. Okay, let's see if I can do this under 3 minutes. People, few things. Are you ready? The moon is the first sun. The waters rose, drenched it. The lava came from the moon. It's got the same exact thing as our sun does, except the machine is working, because not everything of God is spiritual. Because like this cup, okay, it's not a life. So not everything is down at the spiritual grounds, right? So look at our internal system, because if you think about it, if you had those people that could build hydrogen cars, right? If they just shut their mouth, nobody even, you know what I mean? Who would know? But you want to bring it to the world, right? So how come we don't hear stories of people building their own rockets and leaving Earth? You know what I'm saying? Because you could have like 20 of your friends. Guys, this is what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to tell you to look at the moon. I'd have done it like 7 times just to prove it. So there's walls to this place, and it rose to the astral plane, the magnetic vortex plane, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to call it, right? So imagine it's on that plane. The water rises. There's your first sun, because he really never mentions the moon, right? Just, it's always the sun during the day and the stars at night. Man, okay, and that human crap's got to stop. I'm not a human, okay? I'm not even white. I grabbed the crayon box the other day. I was like, what color am I close? Peach. So I'm going to start my own peach club, okay? So people can say, oh, you're making fun of white people, you're making fun of black people. I'll be like, that's okay. You guys totally overlooked me. I'm freaking peach, man. Anyway. When I see the flood happen in my head, for some reason when the water lowers down, okay, why it's spinning, because what happens is the moon gets drenched, the lava falls, eventually the moon stops and sits in the water. If you were close to it and looked up, you would think you were next to a mountain. When you're far away, you see what it is, okay? At this point, it's like amber. Yeah, embers, the things that burn on the edge of a wood. Anyway, so it's sitting there. It's bouncing a little bit with the water, but it's still there in that one space. Then all of a sudden, over Mexico, the, what do you call it? Do you remember the hand on the wall? When that hand came out, pointed at the wall, and words appeared. Now, I want you to picture God doing that with the sun. Remember, he's hovering over it. He's over the abyss. He's over everything. Like a computer, you can't be the little digit inside the box. You can only see it from the outside. And the inside doesn't even know what's going on. So, his hand comes through the sky and places the sun right there. Okay? And I think that one particular spot is where that sun sat. There's like 200 of them supposedly. Okay? That has to be something after the flood, because it was wiped clean. You know, when the water settled, seeds that were floating the whole time, that already started sprouting. It wasn't that hard. Everybody's like, oh, the water took everything away. Where the edges are between the wall and the main circumference, the main part of the plate we're on, take a dog bowl, a plastic one, and put it upside down. You'll see that there's a flat spot in the middle and there's a big trench around the sides. I think that's where a gist of everything wound up, down there. You know? That's why all of a sudden things pop up out of nowhere. So imagine things living down there, and all of a sudden the buoyancy is different. Now you know it as a crab, but it's a different crab that was under different pressures. So all of a sudden that thing rolls up, you think it's the same one, and it's not. It's coming from the edges. Anyway. The sun is placed. But here's the thing, it's hot. So when it gets pressed down, it makes indent. And it starts burning the water. Eventually, the sun goes around and catches up, sort of, to the moon. Then the moon starts moving. Now the moon's ice cold, and the sun is hot. You begin to have a yin and yang. There's a plate with 4 corners, okay? It could be one, or it could be all of them that have doorways in. But that's where your water probably came from, because it was from the deep, and it came in, started filling around the inside, and it finally rose up. It could have been happening for days before the water hit, from the sky. They wouldn't know. As it starts spinning, storms are coming off the sun. Hot storms, electric storms, the worst storms you can see, thunderstorms, electricity, the whole line. Now, the moon starts to freeze things. And because it's now shut off, I don't know if you've ever messed with metal that's electric, because you can take a piece of metal and it don't do nothing, but you rub a magnet on it for a few minutes, it will be magnetized for a while. I hope you're following me. Write this stuff down. Ask Rock what the fuck, okay? So now, the moon's cold, ice, snowstorms, that starts to fill up. But how? How? Because it's going around catching up to the storms the sun's leaving. And everything is being pressed against the wall as it goes around, like a yin and yang. You got your white, which means alive, and then you got your black, which means dead. So, or vice versa. Somebody would have to come up with that conclusion. I don't know how yin and yang works. I know it's supposed to be male and female, but nobody ever understood the things that I put together in my heart and soul. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So check it out. You ready? As it's spinning, it's packing a wall, okay, against the wall, and the mountains were created by the moon. Because if you ever go into the mountains, you always get what? Iron, gold, all that jazz, right? Now, gold's not magnetic, copper's not, but you know what is? Steel. So imagine it being all compressed and separating, all through that time. And don't forget, you have the what do you call it too? So, all right, it's going around. Storms are being made by the sun, and they're being frozen and tossed to the side, to the wall, by the moon. In the center is Noah. And as it goes down, what happens is you have it looks like a horn. You ever see the Egyptians, right? They have the thing here, and then the horn that goes on the bottom. You just gotta say what the fuck you want about it. Because if they actually took Noah's story that they were trying to tell them, they bent the rules of the story anyway and completely fucking lied. Got me? So, you take the bull horns and you have that dot in the center. It never touches. Okay? It's always separate. A gap like this. Because it's the same thing when it started going. Okay? So the sun is pressing down, but the moon is ice cold and pulling up. So it's literally got a wave of water, steel, rock, and God knows what else is left in there. Like the seeds are floating on the top branches, all this. Remember, this is like, 150 days? Pretty quick. I bet you not while you're going through it, though. Like, I'm going to give you one example. So you got the yin and yang thing going, but that's not before this happens. The moon stops, and it's amber. But you're floating away from the moon. You're going with the water away or whatever. And you see the moon get distance, but you're in water. You're not in the sky, but picture it that way. In front of you instead of above you, going in the distance. You want to throw up because you can't tell anything. Because now that you have a dead sun, and remember, it's not bright, so the farther away it is, it's even small and dim. That's why the moon has its own light. And I'll explain that in a minute. Imagine black sky, right? You got the Milky Way where the angels fell. That's why there's a gap in the sky, by the way. It left the oil in the sky to prove it. All those little things you're looking at, those are things that left. That's why, never mind. So just let me go. So picture you had something sitting there, and when it moved a certain way and came down, right? Probably went from the top around, because it doesn't matter to us. It's all from above to begin with. And when they show up, they never show up from like underground. They always show up in some kind of ship from the very top, and they come down, probably really dramatically to show off in front of humans, because that's where we get Hollywood, right? Real men don't act unless they're playing a game. Anyway. Or it's war. So, everything is black with stars. But the scary part is the sky continues under the waves. I want you to picture it, the back wall, that's what you're looking at, the sky, right? But it continues under the waves. At the same time, you have the reflection of the stars. So not only are they under the fucking water, they're on top of the water, they're around the water, and your sun is now a little tiny speck, not tiny. You're on the plane of it. You're on the astral plane along with the sun and moon. The moon at the time, because the flood was there and the sun didn't come. I hope these guys are catching this, man. I really do, because this is hard. Maybe I shouldn't have smoked so much prior. No, I so should have. Anyway. The reflection of the stars on the top of the water, plus the sky, plus it continuing under the waves. And you see this shooting star come down. Now you got the star coming from the sky, the reflection there, which on top, going to meet when it goes to hit the top of the water from the sky. Get it? Because it's in the background. That's when you start realizing there's way more to this than you'll ever understand. It's simpler too. So it's coming down, meets the crest of the water, the flat line of the water, and continues under the waves. Like the Dipper, like the Big Dipper. The handle's up, the Dipper's down, or whatever, you know what I mean. So most of it is in the sky, but there's enough of it under the water where you can tell the difference between the reflection of the water and it being under there. But imagine the shooting star comes down, passes the plane. As it's hitting the plane, the light passes the arc, goes towards the wall, goes towards the sky, meets. The comet continues down, and then all of a sudden you see the reflection come back. Imagine seeing that. You know what? Not for nothing. He got through that. He already earned the right to start the world. I don't know if there's a Marine out there that could survive that mentally and keep steadfast to family. I mean, there's a lot more to this back then. And they know it, and they erase it, and while they're erasing it, they tell you, you mock it, and then it happens. How many people love those Freddy Krueger movies? I stopped watching that shit years ago, right? You're basically pledging to Freddy Krueger. You know why we all watch those fucking movies? It looks like there was shit happening to people. These demons and gods, or whatever you want to fucking call them, can't do shit without our fucking permission. And that's what Jesus was trying to tell you. You don't need Jesus to walk up behind you. You're supposed to have the strength through his teachings. That doesn't mean he doesn't pop up once in a while to try to remind you. Do you understand that? You have authority here. Follow my lead and do as I did. You want to walk on water? Figure out how I did it. You know? And whatever you have. See, I don't believe that anybody should have everything. I don't think a bad guy should have a nuke. How do you get them to not have it? Well, first off, don't make nukes, if they even exist, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, so let me get back to that. Now the sun is pressing down, and it looks like a horn, right? But the moon has a wave being pulled up to it. Now, I want you to also understand that around the sphere, it don't touch nothing. There's miles or feet, or depending on how you look at it, in between the water and where it's pressing down on the sun and the moon. There is nothing connecting it. It's all magnetic and all that fun jazz. It radiates, even the water. Well, the waters have all kinds of stuff in it, so it won't be. But anyway, so you got the moon pulling up things, and they get weak, and then they break and fall down. That's where you get your mountains. But that's because the dead moon was rising everything. Okay? Listen to what I'm telling you. The dead moon rose your mountains. The dead moon rose your mountains. Come on, cat. I love you to death, dude, but you really gotta get down, bro. Okay? You wanna go out? Alright, hold on. Alright, I'm back. People are like, John, you should probably edit half this shit out. And I said, then you really won't know who the hell I am. I'm trying to tell you who the fuck I am here. Alright, so. While this is happening with this spinning, he's got to ride waves. Because he's never in the same spot. It's just too chaotic. So he's riding the moon wave because he can't do the other one. You have to do the moon wave. So the moon wave picks him up, and he rides it until he gets to a certain point and gets back to the flat. That's where the stones are there. The weight of the stones can make him use it like a surfboard. That's why there's no sails. You know, there's probably not even a stern. It's all with those stones. He knows how to balance it anyway. Most of the things with God anyway. I'm pretty sure he was tucking it to the side or whatever. But anyway, he would go and he'd be in a flat spot. Now, why this is all happening, these mountains are being formed. The lava's already underneath. So now the twirling mud and all that, everything falling off the edge in between the wall and the mainland. Okay? And the gates are now in reverse. They're allowing water to flow. But it wouldn't work. It's like a washing machine. Without those propellers spinning, without something to go like this with, the water wouldn't do nothing. You'd just be riding and steaming up everything, and it'd be like it for no reason. So, the water's going out of the corners, the four corners. The center, there's a north there in the middle, and there's a black, it's like a mountain of coal it's like all the coal met right there in the middle. You know, it's an after effect. You know, and it was also part of the drainage as well, because that was the last spiraling point, and down. After everything chilled, the moon had its own light, and that was because of the glass. During the process of hitting the water and everything, it made a thin layer of glass, okay? But you gotta understand, it was face down. That's why you have dark side of the moon. It was face down. When the sun came in, that face, like that, and then started being pushed. Okay, I understand? It's down like that in the water. That's the part that pulled up rocks. That's the part that has the thin layer of glass that held some in. That's why when they shot the freaking, what do you call it? The missile, or the, okay, they tried to see if it would ring. That's why all of a sudden these new pictures came up of it being red. It's because of the stuff inside. When you cracked it, actual air and oxygen got inside, and the irons and stuff like that started to turn, and that's where you get your blood moving. That they, you know, God was like, I know this is how this is going to happen, boom, boom, because I hear their plan 15 minutes before they do. You know, they think they got the cheat codes. He only gave them the ones to play with. He could always just shut this thing down. And I'm hoping he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. I hope whatever happens right now, I hope it's not Jesus coming, to tell you the truth. You guys keep wishing that, you're fucking stupid. Because half of us don't belong standing in front of that man smiling. The only thing we'll do is weep. And that's the personal hell you'll have to go through. When you sit there and you look at that guy and realize, hey, you know, anyway, imagine he sets down, right? So he starts over here in America. Okay? Now, I don't know if that works or not anyway. Because the way that I see it, everything was white. Garden of Eden was one of the openings. Like, you ever see an igloo? Right? An igloo. The igloo has that opening inside that you come in and out of. Yeah. Well, that's that land that everybody keeps talking about. There's 4 of them. So while you're all sitting there looking at Antarctica, being focused on Antarctica, there's like the other ones that you don't know about on the other side of the rock. And that's magnetic. It's also got coal, but, you know, coal, diamond. It's like, I bet you inside that thing where it's all twisted up would be the first unicorn, you know, that little spiral. I bet you it looks like that, but diamond all the way up like that. I just, for some reason, I see that in my head. But the outside is magnetite, or whatever that magnetic rock is, infused in the coal with a crystal like that in the center. And that's why every time you go to use a compass, it goes only in that direction. But they got the maps all. Sometimes I wonder if you could just walk over from India, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of gas stations now. I bet you could make that walk from India. Anyway, he sets down. That's why you go out to, what do you call it, where the thing is, Ararat and all that whole area. There's grapes. It's because that was one of the first things that he planted. Why everything else settled. That's why you got bushes and little compiles of forests. You never notice there's like nothing around this thing, but it's just a pocket, because that's where a pocket of seeds started. So it literally started a couple inches, 10 feet, because where's it going to go? And don't forget, the animals, they're not far behind. And that's really what kick-started everything in the first place. The only difference is a lot of that oxygen got taken out, and there's nothing left to produce it, especially after they chop the trees down. You ever see Tabletop Mountain? That's a whole different thing. Well, it's part of the beginning of that. I think right before the flood. But anyway, that's not the point. point I'm trying to tell you this. Everybody's looking for the biggest lie. Why? Because while you're doing that, have you actually got a group of people together and just chilled? Like, just stopped and said, I don't want to be part of any of that. You know? I was complaining. You know, I don't have a car. I don't have a house. I don't have anything. And every time I go to get it, I'm 46 years old, just have it. It's an outside thing. And I'm starting to come up with a reason. This whole time, I might not have been driving cars or spending a lot of cash. But I got more wealth in people. And it's funny because it's usually the opposite. Everybody just got wealth and all that stuff. It's always fake people that are around. I've been blessed with real people. I've had absolute freaking wars with people. And at the end of the day, they walk up to me and they say they're sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm like, well, you got your shit together? All right. Now, instead of putting some shoelaces in your ass, maybe here to thank you. Because that is what I want to see people do. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, I need Jesus. No, shut up. He's not going to hold your hand. And don't go to his mom. She's been through enough. So don't go to his mom. It's him and his dad that run the show. Okay? But they left you the book, the manual. Don't be the guy who don't ask for fucking directions. Don't be the guy who don't read the instruction manual. Because you're only going to have to at the end to rebuild the fucking thing that you didn't fix right in the first place. I'm lucky. You know what my prized possession is? I swear to God, you're never going to believe this. Where is it? This is my prized possession. This is my prized possession. It's so awesome. Check this out. I'm holding the phone on. Give me a second. Gotta be the way to put the phone. Get on the bus. Gus, no need to discuss much. Alright, whatever. Hold on. See? See, I can't tell if you can see, and I hope I didn't waste this part of the video. The thing I really want to show you is the pictures. I don't know what that is, but I haven't been able to read much of it, mostly on the internet, but there's pictures in here. Oh, that's cool too. Yep, they'll be hunting me down when this shit happens. They'll be like, who's the man with the Bible? I'll be like, me, my man. Alright. And that's, I think it said 1964. It's not the year they took God out of school. Crazy, isn't it? Well, that's a little bit about me. Love you and God bless.